Ladies and gentlemen, hit subscribe to this channel right now. This is huge. I believe James Comey will be a very important, integral part of indicting Hillary Clinton. President Trump has just stated that he thinks Hillary Clinton should be prosecuted, and he's been stating that for a long time. Pam Bondi, the DOJ, Kash Patel, Tulsi Gabbard, Clinton made the most salacious, absurd, immoral claim against Congresswoman and DNI chief Gabbard, stating that she was an operative of another country. And she set up and framed Trump, funding a dossier and creating a new Cold War. All of it was a lie. All of it was a hoax. I do believe that James Comey and others will turn on the Clintons. It could be the other way around. Hillary could turn on Comey. I do think that the people are going to be indicted. Page 17, second, while the investigation identified numerous links between individuals with ties to the government and individuals associated with the Trump campaign, the evidence was not sufficient to support criminal charges. Page 17 of the Mueller probe. No liberal Democrat and wonderful progressive and leftist who thinks that we shouldn't be rehashing all of this. The Mueller probe found nothing. The intelligence community found nothing. The assessment meant less than nothing. They never concluded with evidence anything pertaining to Trump. They accused him without evidence. There was an assessment without evidence. It was based on a high to moderate confidence, which is right here from the original ODNI report. Almost no chance, almost certainly. There was never evidence. That's page 23 or so. Yes, page 23 of the ODNI report that Democrats continually bring up to this day. This is page 17 of the Mueller report. This relates directly to Comey because the Steele dossier he utilized to investigate Trump. So you have page 17 of the Mueller report. Not sufficient to support criminal charges. Evidence was not sufficient to charge any campaign official as an unregistered agent of the Russian government. They bring up, in the most defamatory manner, Assange and WikiLeaks. Mueller found no evidence, the WikiLeaks releases of hacked material, not sufficient to charge a criminal campaign finance violation. Further, the evidence was not sufficient to charge that any member of the Trump campaign conspired with Russia to interfere in 2016. Page 17 of the Mueller probe is the reason that Comey, Brennan, Strzok, McCabe, all of them, will likely turn on Clinton, or Clinton will turn on them. But Clinton is essentially indicted already. Indicted, DOJ indictment already essentially because of James Comey's testimony you'll hear in 1 second. But you have newly uncovered evidence with high confidence that talked about how they used high to moderate confidence. New evidence, this is from the Director of National Intelligence. New evidence uncovers Obama-directed creation of false intelligence report. This is from the Director of National Intelligence, the same people stating, well, we already knew. The intel agencies agreed. Now the intel agencies agree it was a complete hoax. But see, again, whether the intel agencies go after Trump or they say it was a hoax, reality is independent of what intel agencies state. Reality always stated or dictated that the thing was nonsense to begin with. You'd have to be an imbecile to believe that Russia wanted Trump. If anything, Russia and any adversary wants these Democrats who use laptops for bribery and graft, or private servers, where classified data is being forwarded to Anthony Weiner. You'll hear that in a second. Newly declassified Durham probe. The Durham probe was not about indicting or imprisoning people. It was about gathering evidence so when you could indict and imprison people with the correct evidence or intel, not all intel is meaningless. The intel that actually correlates to evidence shows a plot to go after Trump. But here you have, really quickly, it's very important. Why is this important before you hear James Comey, who essentially already indicted Hillary Clinton? He did so in a way with the Comey letter. The estimative language on page 23 of the original ODNI report that Democrats always cite talked about an assessment based on confidence, not evidence. You wonderful, morally superior, highly educated imbecile. But anyway, wherever you are who thinks Trump is still a criminal. He was set up and framed with a high to moderate confidence assessment by 3, not 17 intel agencies. But almost no chance, almost certainly, nothing in this estimative language states categorically, yes, we know that Trump was a Kremlin operative. The whole thing was a hunch, which was predicated on Clinton purchasing the Steele dossier and a meeting where George Papadopoulos was set up and framed and exculpatory evidence was withheld. Page 17 of the Mueller report categorically eviscerates, completely ends any discussion that the Mueller report meant anything to begin with. The Mueller report vindicated President Trump entirely, completely, 100%, because page 17 stated categorically there was zero evidence for any criminal charges pertaining to the original allegation that Trump worked with the Kremlin to interfere in 2016, to let all the dirty laundry and corruption of the Democratic Party out in a timely manner. By the way, I remember I was the biggest Bernie Sanders booster on the internet then, according to the Huffington Post, and the unofficial scribe of Sanders' most hardcore voters, according to the Washington Post. Every single WikiLeaks drop or every single WikiLeaks dump of emails, Democrats online laughed. They didn't care at all. So that's all you got? They were expecting a landslide until the moment it didn't happen. Then they went back in time and said, oh my God, Brennan, Comey, save us from the cognitive dissonance. Page 23 of the original ODNI report, no evidence there, only a confidence assessment. And page 17 of the Mueller report. End of story. We knew there was nothing there from the very beginning of all of this. Now I want you to listen to James Comey completely indict Hillary Clinton right now. Essentially, this was 8 years ago, but listen to this.
Hugely significant way. And the team also told me we cannot finish this work before the election. And then they worked night after night after night, and they found thousands of new emails. They found classified information on Anthony Weiner. Somehow, her emails are being forwarded to Anthony Weiner, including classified information by her assistant, Huma Abedin. And so they found thousands of new emails, and then called me the Saturday night before the election. And
what did you just hear, ladies and gentlemen? If you've lasted this long, 7 minutes in, listen to this again. And this is just one of the many reasons Comey will likely turn on Clinton. He already did before the reason Clinton lost was not because of Trump or Russia. You'd have to be stupid to believe that, which there are millions of very intelligent people who believe something stupid, because it's a complete hoax and it was fabricated by Clinton and the DNC. They purchased the Steele dossier. But the Comey letter was what ended Clinton's hopes. The Comey, that letter was written because of this, which is the reason he's already essentially indicted Clinton.
Before the election. And then they worked night after night after night, and they found thousands of new emails. They found classified information on Anthony Weiner. Somehow, her emails are being forwarded to Anthony Weiner, including classified information by her assistant, Huma Abedin.
Classified data is being forwarded to Anthony Weiner before his prison sentence, according to the Honorable James Comey. And the National Archives got Trump to be raided by the FBI. I mean, this is the world we're dealing with, ladies and gentlemen. It is a completely bizarro, outlandish world where I think that James Comey is the least likely to serve any prison time. Okay, I think that what's taking place is Comey, Brennan, all of these people are going to turn on Clinton. Clinton will likely be indicted first. Almost certainly Clinton will be indicted. Because conspiring to deceive the entire American electorate about something that did not happen, and we knew page 17 of the Mueller report was the end of the Russia hoax, and page 23 of the ODNI report, which meant exactly what Trump was always saying, that it was a setup and it was just about intel people thinking something happened. Brennan stated he doesn't do intelligence. He doesn't do evidence. He does intelligence, meaning the evidence need not correlate to intelligence. Here, Comey says he believes the source of Steele dossier to be credible. Of course, that's not true. But he used it to go after Trump. All the while, Trump got raided, Mar-a-Lago was raided by the Federal Bureau of Investigation, and yet, here you can listen to this again.
And the team also told me, we cannot finish this work before the election. And then they worked night after night after night, and they found thousands of new emails. They found classified information on Anthony Weiner. Somehow, her emails are being forwarded to Anthony Weiner, including classified information by her assistant, Huma Abedin. And so they found thousands of new emails, and then called me the Saturday night before the election and said, thanks to the wizardry of our technology.
Oh, the wizardry. We still don't know how the top secret intel found its way from secure government networks onto Clinton's servers. Comey almost certainly knows. He just like Comey wrote the Comey letter, he'll basically write the indictment. And so the email fiasco cover-up, the greatest cybersecurity nightmare of all time, correlates directly to the indictment that Pam Bondi is writing at the moment, almost certainly. I don't have any inside knowledge. This is purely conjecture and speculation on my part, everything I've said up until this point, and what I'm going to continue to say. But I do believe that Comey is going to turn on Clinton, possibly testify against Clinton like he said he would against McCabe on CNN with, what's his name, Jake Tapper. Anyway, hit subscribe to the channel right now. I think Clinton almost certainly will get indicted. I think Pam Bondi is writing the indictment now, or the DOJ. And Comey could very well be a witness. Hit subscribe to make sure that he doesn't spend any time in the slammer. Hit subscribe to this channel right now. Thank you.